Hello and welcome to Network Africa on Channels Television with me, Cynthia Are. Coming up on the program, France confirms that the number of attackers were 6 in number and not 3. What that means is 3 more suspects are at large. Then President Kenyatta of Kenya promises to wipe out Shabaab, which is not only a threat to Kenya, but Somalia. And later on, the United Nations seeks to raise $1.3 billion in humanitarian aid for South Sudan. Hello again, and thanks for staying tuned to Network Africa on Channels Television with me, Cynthia Are. Barely 1 week after the Burkina Faso attack, which left 30 people dead, France has announced that it's seeking 3 people in connection to the incident. The French Prime Minister Manuel Valls confirmed that 6 individuals opened fire on unarmed patrons at Le Cappuccino Cafe before taking refuge at the nearby Splendid Hotel, where they held several hostages. According to the French Prime Minister, 3 of the 6 assailants were killed and 3 others escaped and are currently being sought out. France stands in solidarity with Burkina Faso and likens the attacks there to what happened in Paris on December the 13th and the Charlie Hebdo attacks. Still talking security, just as France is committed to tracking down those 3 suspects at large, President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya remains dedicated to rooting out Shabaab. During his speech in Mombasa yesterday, President Kenyatta focused on the threat which Shabaab poses to not only Kenya but Somalia. He reiterated his commitment to not only rooting out the terrorists, but ensuring that Kenya continues to defend Somalia, even though that move has come at a high cost. The cost is the death of some Kenyan troops, but here's an excerpt of the president's heartfelt speech.
Our fallen heroes are returning home. The injured are in the care of our medical staff, and as their commander-in-chief, and also as a parent, my heart goes out to them and to their grieving families. Let us all come together in prayer for all of them. We are unbowed. As I speak to you today, our defense forces are conducting intense search, rescue, and recovery operations to make sure we bring home our fallen and our injured heroes. That has been and remains our key priority. That said, we are determined and committed to pursuing those criminals who perpetrated this act and to ensure that they shall pay heavily for their crime.
President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya. Now we go live for more on the aftermath of this speech, and we're joined on the program by the lead consultant at Sovereign Insight in Kenya, Mr. Vincent Kimosop. Mr. Kimosop, thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa again.
Yeah, you're welcome. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. I hope I can say the same for you. I just want to start by asking you how Kenyans are reacting to the speech given by the president in Mombasa yesterday.
There is a mixed reaction to the speech by the president. Of course, there are those who are of the view that as the commander-in-chief, he should have cut short his trip in the coast and come to the capital. And there are those who are of the view that military traditions need to be respected, and soldiers are to be celebrated and not to be mourned. So there are mixed reactions as a result of what was transpired, but his message was well received, coming strongly and celebrating what they've been able to do, that they've died while defending the country.
Now, Mr. Kimosop, I know that it's, like you say, it's a mix of the feelings regarding how that speech was taken, but based on what you're seeing right now, what you've seen, especially since the Garissa massacre last year, have you seen any facilities or platforms put in place that show the government's commitment to actually rooting out Al-Shabaab?
Yes, you can see, so just starting with what we have, the recent unfortunate incident is that we have support services extended to the immediate members of the families. The information is not released or made public unless all the back checks and information has been conveyed to the families. Number two is also you see a more intense and a concerted effort, security agencies working closely, sharing information locally and internationally. So you see visible steps towards ensuring that people appreciate the need to have a more conscious populace on the importance of them taking responsibility on matters of security. Also, the appeals done locally and internationally for support. As you're aware, the U.S. president was here. We also expect the president from Turkey. And all these are done towards enhancing collaboration and support towards ensuring that there is success. But nonetheless, what you do not see is the element of consistency in these processes and bringing the members of the public and creating a more conscious civic entity into the process, which is critical considering that the best strategy for dealing with terrorism is actually terrorism is best fought among communities and not really just hardware military strategies.
Now, Mr. Kimosop, President Kenyatta also emphasized on Kenyan politics knowing no religion or ethnic boundaries and only the unity and resolve of a peace-loving people. Those are the words he used. My question is, what challenges need to be tackled head-on besides Al-Shabaab in order for that to actually yield fruit?
If you look at terrorism, Al-Shabaab is seeking to drive away between the Christian and the Muslim population, and also exploit other gaps like poverty, feelings of marginalization, and really a polar political climate. And that's why you see very, very strong the president. This is reflected in his statement, pointing out that this is not a religious or a political issue. So he was speaking first to the gap that Al-Shabaab is seeking to exploit and divide the populace so that you have a united front as a country against this issue, because the military is an institution that is celebrated. And I think the president needed to maintain that. And at the same time, you see also the results. The opposition has spoken clearly. They're there together with the president on this. Which is good for us to have a united front as a country, even as we confront this faithless enemy that is seeking to bring harm among our people.
Mr. Kimosop, thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa. We appreciate your time and input as always. Thank you very much. Mr. Vincent Kimosop is the lead consultant at Sovereign Insight, speaking with us from Kenya. Stay with us on Network Africa as there's more to come, including the latest on the migrant crisis. European Council President Donald Tusk announces that the EU has just 2 months to control migration crisis, or else Schengen will collapse.